Hey guys, what's up and welcome to another video. So, during this whole, pandemic situation, being stuck at home, I'm like, snacking all the time and being reminded of a time where I felt really guilty for eating, things like that, because I did used to have an eating disorder when I was younger. And then I realized I never made a fitness journey video. Like, I remember mentioning this on my Instagram like months ago. I was like, yeah guys, I'm gonna make like a fitness journey video, and I never filmed it. So here I am. I had like no plan and like no notes for this. I've been like into fitness for like a really long time. I'm 20 years old now, and it feels so weird saying that. And I started like working out or whatever when I was like 12, which is a bit weird, but yeah. So let's just get straight into it. I'm gonna try and insert like photos wherever I can, if I can find them like somewhere on my laptop or like on a hard drive that I have. So yeah, let's go all the way back to when I was a little 12-year-old girl. I grew up being like naturally very skinny. Like I had very long, well, my legs are still long, but like they're really lanky, like really skinny. I have a very like ectomorphic build, so it was easy for me to stay lean even though I ate in like huge amounts. Even after I went through puberty, like I still was like really skinny. But I was always self-conscious with like my midsection because my torso is very short, so it looks a bit like stocky and thick and blocky. And that's also where like any of the fat I did have at the time, I stored it in my in my midsection. So I was very insecure about that, and I thought I was fat. I had very bad body dysmorphia. I wanted to be like shredded with like a six-pack when I was 12 years old. So I came across, the internet was my best friend. I was like searching on YouTube like different workouts I could do, and I found Blogilates on YouTube. So if you guys don't know, Blogilates is like the name of the YouTube channel owned by Cassie Ho. She is a Pilates instructor on YouTube, and her videos are actually a lot of fun. Like, it's very different to the style of training I do now, but it's very good for your posture, good for your core strength. It's a lot of fun. She did like song challenges, things like that. So I would do her workouts in my room because I did have like a couple of pairs of light dumbbells at home, and I had like a mat, and that's pretty much all you needed to do her workouts. So I would do her workouts and like her workout calendar. And then I also had a personal trainer, believe it or not, when I was like 13, because my mom trained with her, and my mom was like, oh, come train with us. So she would train us both together, me and my mom, like 3 times a week. And when I was 13 is when I realized I need to clean up my diet, because although I was skinny, it was like I was still eating like complete shit. Like my diet was so bad, guys. Like I would eat, like for breakfast I'd have like chocolate cake and like a couple of like those Nature Valley bars, and then like some bread and some cereal, and I'd have like chicken nuggets and french fries, or chips as Brits like to call them, like 2 or 3 times a day. I had like buttered popcorn, normal like regular Coke, loads of ice cream, like chocolate bars. I was a fat kid in a skinny girl's body. Like that's what I was. So yeah, I ate like shit and I got away with it, but then I was like, no, I want my flat stomach, like I want abs. That was like, my thing, because I was happy with my legs and my arms. I just wanted like a flat stomach. So I cleaned up my diet. I stopped eating donuts every day. So I like learned what calories were. I started tracking my calories very inaccurately, but I was kind of aware. I think I was on like 1500 or 1400, can't remember, something stupid like that. And I got really lean, and I remember like the first time I realized like, whoa, like I look shredded. I was 13 years old, keep this in mind, like this is really unhealthy. Was when I went to Australia with my mom, and like we took some photos on the beach, and I was like, oh my god, like I have a flat stomach now, and I felt so good about myself. And then when I was 14, so I kept working out and stuff, like I discovered veganism for ethical reasons, and I went cold turkey vegan, but then it took a really bad turn when I found like this high carb vegan lifestyle. It's so stupid. Oh my god, I cringe every time I think about this because I was such an idiot and I fell for it twice. Basically, there was this girl on YouTube. Her name was Freely the Banana Girl. she was a bit of like a nut job. I mean, she wasn't all bad, but she was pretty crazy. And her boyfriend, his name was like Harley or something, and he was pretty crazy as well. And they advocated this crazy high carb like vegan diet where you get most of your calories from carbs. I'm talking like 95% of your calories from carbs. And like you're eating mostly fruit and like mostly like things like bananas and like dates and apples and things like that. And you're eating like 3,000 calories a day. And the only training you do is like bike riding. Like they would advocate the shit out of that lifestyle. But the thing is they did it in a way that was so convincing that like so many people fell for it, and like including myself. The thing is, like, nowadays I could probably get away with eating that many calories, like 2,500, of course I can. But back in the day, I was a tiny little girl. I just turned 14. I was sedentary. Like, I used to live in Dubai, and if you've ever been to Dubai, you know that, like, you can't get steps in. Like, you can't walk anywhere. I was just, like, I just went to school and back, like, on the bus. Like, you don't really walk. So, I just started, like, binging. Like, I would eat so much. And then I gained like, and at the same time, I also went on the pill for like my PCOS, like a medical thing. Like, you know, I wasn't having sex with like strangers when I was 14, don't worry. And then just my hormones were out of whack. Like I gained so much weight. I gained, I think like 6 or 7 kilos. That's like equivalent like, you know, 15 pounds, in a very short like amount of time. And I was like, fuck this. This ain't working, so I stopped doing the high carb lifestyle and I started restricting my calories again. But I was still on the stupid pill and it made me cuckoo. Like I was fucking crazy. Like my hormones were so out of whack that I would cry for no reason. I was depressed. I was suicidal, like, and I was like 14 and a half. And then I just kept on yo-yo dieting and I felt like shit about my body, and I also had like a knee issue that kept me from training properly. And yeah, so the ages of like 14 and 15 were very dark when it comes to like my fitness journey. I still try to work out in my room whenever I could. I was still focusing on like getting a flat stomach. I really wanted my abs all the time. And yeah, and then at some point I was like, you know what, Mom, enough is enough. I'm stopping this pill, because obviously my mom cared about my health and she knew this pill was like good for my health, which is total bullshit. It wasn't. So I got off the pill, and then the weight magically just like came off. Like in a couple months time, I was like, oh wow, like I've lost a lot of weight. And I found this guide, the BBG guide by Kayla Itzinas. She's like this Australian fitness influencer. It's like kind of like HIIT circuit training style kind of stuff. You just need like dumbbells at home and a mat, and that's what I had, so that's what I did. I followed her guide religiously for like a few months, and I saw pretty good results by my standards at the time, of course. And this is like when I was like 15 and a half, almost 16. And I saw like, yeah, like really good results, and I was like really happy with my results. And I was like, oh my god, like finally, like this is working, like oh my god. And I was still vegan, of course, and I was still like tracking my calories, things like that, whatever. And then I got so addicted to like getting smaller and smaller that like I just started eating a lot less. It was really weird. I just started eating less and less and less and less. And then when I had just turned 16, I had to do this pretty big surgery in my lower back for like this cyst that I had to get removed. So I couldn't train for like a good 3 months, like no training, nothing. Like it was hard for me to even walk because it was a very big open wound that I had in my lower back, so I just couldn't train. So in my head I was like, okay, I need to make up for like no training by eating less. So, and also in addition to this, by the way, like this is something the doctor even told me, like I know this is true, because the wound was like this big, like it was a big open wound, guys. And for that to heal and for you to recover, it requires a lot of energy, you know, from food. So that kind of like revved up my metabolism, like just having that massive open wound in my body, like it needs, you know, food for it to heal. So taking that into account, plus I was eating less, I lost a fuckload of weight, guys. Like, and I just was eating, I think I was eating like this, like trigger warning if this triggers anyone. I was eating like, yeah, like 800 calories a day. probably getting like 50 to 60 grams of protein a day, which is literally like almost a quarter of like what I eat now, which is fucking crazy. Even the 800 calories, like I can maintain on 4 times that right now. Like that's fucking crazy. I weighed like 44, 45 kilos at my lowest at the same height. I'm 5'6". Yeah, and like the thing is, I got compliments. Like people were telling me, oh my god, like you have really nice like long lean legs, you look like a model, da da da. It was like the thing, because I went to a French school, and like no offense to French people, but like it's kind of this like ideal slash standard. Like all these French girls are super skinny and like yeah, just really skinny and really lean and stuff. My camera's gonna die. Fuck, I need to finish talking. Okay, so I was really skinny for like a good year and then I could start training again, but like, and I was doing a lot of running, by the way, like as well as like just doing these stupid circuit lightweight workouts at home. And then I moved to London when I was 17 to go to university, and I found the gym. I got my first ever gym membership because I couldn't work out in my room because my room was too small in like my dorms. So I got gym membership at the gym Bloomsbury, and that gym holds a very special place in my heart. I miss it so much because it's closed right now because of coronavirus. But yeah, so I joined that gym and I was like, ooh, like weights. And then I don't know, like just something made me feel super like badass. Like whenever I lifted weights, I'm like, I'm a bad bitch. Like I'm a boss at, like I'm gonna fuck shit up. Like, you know, I felt like that, even though I was like a really skinny, like lanky girl at the time. Like I was like, you know what, I'm a fuck shit up. Like, so then I got addicted to it. Literally, I was like, I want to get better. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I need to eat to get better. And that's when I was like, oh my god, like, I can eat because it's going to help me achieve this other goal that I'm obsessed with now. I kind of shifted my obsession away from being really skinny to, like, getting stronger and, like, creating curves. And then I realized, oh my god, like, I'm now getting the results I've always wanted all these years, the abs, the nice legs, the nice arms, by eating and lifting. And I was like, this is a fucking breakthrough. So, I mean, the first kind of like year-ish when I was like 17, 18, I wasn't that, like, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was still like, you know, like trying out different things, still doing a lot of cardio, still not eating enough, eating a lot more. My calories went up to like 1,400, I think. It wasn't enough, but for me that was a lot of food because I was like really scared of putting on body fat. And then I stuck with it, and then when I was like 18 and a half, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna fuck shit up for real. I upped my calories. I recovered for real. When I did my first bulk, I was like, I'm gonna put on body fat. I need to learn how to be okay with this. I need to just push past this. Like, I can do this. And I did. And yeah, I bulked when I'm not all for bulking in general. Like, I think you can get good results without it. But like for me, with my history, with my disordered eating, I needed to put on body fat and learn how to be okay with it for me to truly recover in the long run. And that's what it did to me. I did my first bulk. I put on, I don't even know how many kilos. I didn't weigh myself during that bulk. I weighed myself at the end of that bulk. I was at a pretty high body fat percentage. Wasn't too bad though. And then I cut and I got shredded over the summer when I was 19 years old. And then I just finished another bulk a couple months ago, and then I'm cutting again. And yeah, so like basically I've been lifting since I was 17 and a half, properly like since I was 18. So it's been 2 years of me lifting weights. My style of training is mostly bodybuilding. I do a bit of powerlifting style training. I would never compete in powerlifting. I might compete in bodybuilding one day. I don't know when the fuck, but like at some point when I get my life kind of together. And yeah, I would say that right now, like when you've had an eating disorder, like it's hard to recover like 100%. Like obviously sometimes like I do feel guilty for eating things, but I'm aware of the patterns that lead to me feeling this way, and I don't let it affect me like it used to in the past. And I think that's the most important thing. And also realizing that, like, you know, I can get through this. Like if I got through what I got through, then I can get through anything. And that's a very empowering like feeling. So the fitness journey, like sure it's quite physical, like sure I think I'm in the best shape of my life right now, I'm not gonna lie. I do like my current shape. I am very happy with my current shape and the way I feel. I know that there's so much more room for me to grow. But it's a lot more like emotional and mental than it is physical. And that's basically it. So my body's been through so many stages in life, and I'm so proud of where I am now. And yeah, so yeah, this didn't take as long as I thought it would. I didn't ramble as much, but yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you guys can relate to anything, or if you have any questions, please let me know in a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe for more videos, turn the notifications on as well. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Bye!